ba't ganyan naman yung trabaho mo? Eh di ba nga pinag-aral ka namin ng ganito? Ay naku, nagaganyan ka lang? Eh di ba graduate ka ng ganito? It's very common. You hear it. For example, if you would pursue the BPO industry. Say, ay, nagko-call center ka pala? Welcome to another episode of the Voice Nexter podcast. I'm Kevin Imperial, and for today, we are going to talk about the toxic Filipino mentality when you shift to a different career path or to a different course. Now, it's very common for Filipinos when you choose a different career, like for example, yung tinapos mo in nursing. So, people would assume that you would work as a nurse, you would go to a private or a public hospital for you to serve what degree you have finished, or if you are a seafarer or if you are a seaman, everyone would expect that you would be going abroad, you would be earning dollars, you would be going and roaming to different countries. If you are someone who is a graduate of a bachelor's degree, they would really expect for you to amount something that is related in line to what you have finished. And this toxic mentality does not apply only to those courses that I have mentioned. It applies to other courses as well. If you are a graduate of architecture, of engineering, of mass communication, business administration, accountancy, education, name it, have a lot of toxic people when it comes to self-validating based on their perception of what career path you should be following. And most of the time, these people are not distant relatives, these people are not acquaintances most of the time. These people are very close to us. Sometimes even your own parents, they would say, ba't ganyan naman yung trabaho mo? Eh di ba nga pinag-aral ka namin ng ganito? Or others would say, ay naku, nagaganyan ka lang? Eh di ba graduate ka ng ganito? It's very common. You hear it. For example, if you would pursue the BPO industry, other people would say, ay, nagko-call center ka pala? Eh, di ba ang late lang nung kita nun? And some would say, ay, di ba, seaman ka? Eh, ba't ganyan lang yung trabaho mo? Ba't di ka mag-abroad? Ba't di ka sumakay? It's very common. You hear it. Even for me, when I started to shift from seafaring to the academe to pursue my curriculum developer course, they would always say, sayang daw kasi nga ang bata mo pa, ba't di ka magbarko? Eh di ba dolyar dun? Or they would say, sayang naman, ang bata mo pa kasi, dapat sa'yo, sumasakay pa ngayon. You should pursue daw seafaring. And even for teachers, people are very toxic, they would say. Ano ba yan? Eh di ba guru yan? Ba't ganyan yung trabaho? Ba't nag-online selling yan? May bachelor's degree naman yan. And all of these things. And even if we deny it to ourselves, people are very interested to three things. First is your income. People are very interested how much you earn. They would normally validate a person based on its monthly wage. They would say, okay, so magkano yung kinikita mo ngayon sa trabaho mo? A part of us would want to share, to inspire, but most of the time, we tend to hide some information because of the judgment that we predict we would be getting when we tell them the truth. And in other cases, we lie. We tend not to disclose anything that is factual, especially when it comes to the amount of money that we are earning. And it's very understandable. Other people would lie not to give the wrong impression, but most of us, we lie for us to avoid from their judgment. And it's understandable, it's okay, it's normal. And for the second reason, well, people are very interested in your love life. Ewan ko ba ha? It's not directly relevant, it's not really related to your pursued career path, but other people are very toxic and they would really integrate your love life with your career path. And others would say, natural, walang jowa yan. Kasi nga ganyan trabaho niyan eh. Ay, guru kasi yan, kaya ganyan. Nagtuturo kasi yan, walang panahon yan. And as toxic as it might sound, it really exists and you can't avoid this. Especially yung mga tita at tito mo. They tend to really integrate love life with your pursued career path. For the third one, while people are very interested in your next move, they would say, okay, so ganyan yung trabaho mo. So anong plano mo? Kailan ka magkakabahay niyan? Or anong balak mong bilhin? Anong investment yung pinapasukan mo? Ano yung gusto mong i-invest for a business or something that would generate more money than what you have right now? And these three things poisons your mindset. It affects your perception as to how you advance in your career goals. And for today, we are going to discuss on how you could eliminate these things coming from the people whom you love and whom you trust. Because as sad as it might sound, madalas naririnig mo to sa mga tita mo, sa mga tito mo, sa mga pinsan mo, and even from your parents. So the first thing that you must do is to stop talking and start acting. It's very common for us when we are in a scenario and we are cornered by people who are very toxic, who are throwing a lot of questions. We tend to talk, we tend to share, and we say things that are good from the things that we do or from our job. We say, hindi kasi yung pinagtatrabahuan ko kasi ganito yan, ganito ginagawa namin, and I'm earning this much, and my boss is this, my coworkers are that, and I work in this type of place which is very convenient. Well, you should really stop talking and start acting on it. Act on the plan that you have decided since you have shifted your career path. For example, if you are a seafarer, for those who can relate to this, since I was a seafarer as well. I mean, I'm still a seafarer, but I have shifted my course from seafaring to the academe. So instead of pursuing this idea of persuading others, start acting on it. You have made a decision to jump into another career path, so start acting on it. Do what's necessary, invest in learning, invest in improving yourself in that new path that you have chosen, and later on it would develop into something better instead of talking, instead of sharing things to these people, because these people will never understand. Mas importante sa kanila yung judgment in your face compared to understanding your point, understanding your interest, and understanding your choices in life. The second thing that you must do is stop saying and start showing. Now, it's very common when you are in a situation and when people would ask you, ano ba kasi yung ginagawa mo or what makes your job very interesting, na pinagpalit mo yung dati mong trabaho sa bagong trabaho mo ngayon, or someone would ask you, bakit sa lahat ng pwede mong lipatan, yan yung napili mo. Now, instead of engaging into those types of questions, let it go. Do not entertain toxic questions or do not entertain leading questions na alam mo naman kung saan papunta. So instead of answering them, start showing them what you do. Start showing them new skills that you have developed from the job that you have chosen. Start showing them how you have advanced from the previous skills and knowledge that you have had in your previous job. And lastly, the third thing that you must do is to stop giving promises and start working on how to improve. Don't give promises, but prove. Prove to them that you have made the right decision. This requires time for you to develop the right skills, the right knowledge for you to really advance in this career goal. But stop giving promises. Just try to prove them. And later on, they would see that in the long run, you did not waste your bachelor's degree or you did not waste the regular position from a different company for you to leave and pursue another company or pursue a different path. Have enough courage to pursue, because along the way, it would really require patience and courage for you to keep going, for you to grow as you go. Because the more you engage to toxic people's conversation, the more it poisons your character. And it's okay. It's okay to not be okay at the moment, and it's okay to eliminate toxic people. Kung sa tingin mo naman nakakasira sa mindset mo, nakakasira sa peace na meron ka, then let go of those people. Choose the right people because when you are with the right people, you develop the right ideas. And when you do have the right ideas, you develop a more clear and concise mindset. When you have the right mindset, you will be able to create greater plans for yourself. And from that plan, you can develop a very clear goal as to where you would want to have yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now, during your retirement. Where will you be during that time? As you unlock the steps towards your goal, it's your job to fix your thoughts, fix your mind, and set a steady course to where you would really want to be in the future. And do not be afraid because you will not be starting from scratch. This time, you will be starting over from your experiences. Regardless of what you do for a living, people will always have something to say. Kahit ano pang gawin mo or kahit ano pang trabaho mo, people will always underestimate, people will always judge, people would always validate others based on their standards, yes, or based on their point of view, or to whatever they're basing their judgment from. And at the end of this life, you will not be judged and you will not be remembered by the type of job that you had when you were still here or with the amount of salary that you have earned. You will be remembered by your deeds. So start focusing on yourself. Start on focusing with the right mind, with the right goals in mind. Focus on that. Focus on yourself. And always remember, as you go through these transitions, maybe you're still starting to figure out what career path you would like to pursue. Well, always remember that your mental health matters.